She was a doctor of literature, not doctor of medicine.
Mm-hmm.
She was a fluent Gaelic speaker. She was a great fan of the Land League, and her father and grandfather were great friends with Jeremiah Donovan Ressa. So they were, they might have been Anglo,
Yes.
and like they were what we called the gentry at the time, but they'd been in Castle Townsend since 1915, since 15 something, and they were Irish. They had a brogue just like me and everybody else, the whole bunch of them. And they were wonderful, wonderful people. And our sister Hildegrade actually started a tulip farm in West Cork, and sold tulips and made profit on it. Yeah. She shipped tulips over to England and stuff, to the florists in England and stuff like this, and ran it at a profit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Greenhouses?
No, they were open air.
Out in the fields?
Open air, yeah.
Wow.
Because where I'm from, down in Cork, is like, we got the Gulf Stream that comes right down the coast.
Yes.
And we got the palm trees growing and stuff like that. Well, they're not palm trees everywhere, but in the churchyard, up in the churchyard, the Catholic church, there's palm trees growing there. And there's fuchsia growing wild.
Yes.
And I don't know if you've ever seen it or not, but
I have.
what you can measure by the car, the fuchsia, you can go exactly 1 mile from the coast, inland, and there's no more fuchsia.
Is that right?
That's right. I said that to my brother a few years ago. He said, "You're crazy." He said, "There's fuchsia all over the place." I said, "You watch it. We're going to Skibbereen. We went past the creamery." I said, "There's no more fuchsia past the creamery. We're 1 mile from the coast." Yep. And I know it's all the way down Kerry, all the way down around the south coast of Cork, and fuchsia and
and the palm trees and all this.
Yeah.
The fuchsia grows over there like we have the forsythia here.
That's right. Yeah. And it's like the tropical down there. That's why we never get that much snow down there. I said the day the electricity was turned on, we had snow.
Yeah.
Because you can remember almost whenever you had snow as a kid, because it didn't happen that often.
Didn't happen
Yeah.
very often. Right.
And if it did happen, it was gone like that.
Yeah.
So you had to make the best of it.
Yeah. Now you talked about your uncle coming for the visit and saying yes, he would secure you out to the States and get you out there. How long did it take from the time that conversation happened until you were?
Not that long. That was like September 1960, and I came here on July 1st, 1961. So it didn't take that long.
No. Okay. And how did you travel here?
A plane.
Plane.
St. Brendan was the name of the plane.
St. Brendan was the name of the plane?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And where was it a direct flight right over?
No, it landed in Boston first, and then down to New York.
Okay, so you left from where?
Where
Where did you leave from?
Oh, I left from Shannon.
Shannon?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And how did you get there? Did you have a party sending you off or anything?
My father and mother, and my uncle had a car. He drove. My father and mother came along with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did they feel about you leaving?
Oh, I guess, to them. I know my sister was bawling her eyes out. Like, she's 2.5 years younger than me, and she wouldn't even come out of the house, But I'm sure my mother, but that was like a normal thing in Ireland that time, to have people leave, And at least that, in my time, it was, well, he'll be back in a few years. But years before that, people left, and there was no hope of them ever coming back.
Right.
They just came, and it was like goodbye forever. It was really sad.
Yeah. And did you go back fairly quickly?
Yeah, I think I went back in 1963. Christmas 63, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Did they ever come out here?
No, my father and mother never came out here.
No.
Never did. No. And he regretted that. When he got older, he said, "I should have gone when you told me to go," all that other stuff. Because he was a good traveller. He used to go to England a lot with my sister. And he used to travel all the subways in England and everything else.
So he probably would have been fine here.
Oh, yeah, he'd have been fine here, yeah.
So your uncle met you at the plane.
Yeah.
What was your impression when you got here?
God, I don't know. I know it was hot as hell. Oh, it was hot. It was a 4th of July weekend. It was like on a Friday night, and the 4th was on a Monday, right? Was it? Yeah, for Monday, yeah. And it was so hot. And I had like a heavy Irish wool suit on. And I stayed with my aunt in the Bronx. And the following morning, she got me out of bed about 10 o'clock. Come on, we got to go shopping. I said, what are you shopping for? Got to get some clothes for you. You can't wear those clothes, you'll die. Off up to Fordham Road. All new clothes. Yeah. So she rigged me out completely. And I got a job soon afterwards in a sweatshop.
What were they doing?
Plastic molding.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Nice air conditioned building?
No air conditioning. I don't know. I guess I sweat more now, but I don't remember like sweating as much back then as I do now. But like that place was like that hot, those hot mold, like injection molds, and the heat coming off of those things was unbelievable. I lasted there a full 6 months.
Wow.
$58 a week, and after 6 months, I got $2 raise. I said, well, it's time to be moving on.
Yeah. And did you live then with your aunt and uncle?
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
I lived with my uncle. It was my uncle's sister, my mother's sister. I lived with, right? Her and her husband, and she had two girls. Okay, my uncle was an old bachelor. He lived out in Queens by himself. He wanted nobody bothered. He did his own thing. But
now, how did you keep in touch with the folks back home?
a letter.
Letters?
Yeah.
Were you pretty good at that?
Oh yeah.
Staying in touch? You were good at writing to them regularly?
Every few weeks, yeah.
Yeah, that was good. And how did you assimilate in? I mean, what did you do to kind of get to become a Yank here, to get into the culture here?
Well, I guess the best way is to get a job and start working with people and stuff like that, and knowing people, That's the best way to. But I used to go to Gaelic Park every Sunday.
Okay.
Go to the dances every Friday and Saturday night. City Centre, Jager House, Tower View, there was all kinds of dance halls. And it wasn't like now that you have the bars, the music in the bars. Very few bars had music back then. But I got used to it pretty fast.
Was it always your intent to stay, or did you kind of come thinking you'd go back at some point?
I think if I had the money in my pocket the day after I came, I'd have gone back. I think to myself, what the hell am I doing here? But once I got a job, it was okay, because when you come here, and it's all right the first few days because my aunt and everybody else was home, but then after the 4th of July, they all went to work. Here I was sitting in the house. Where am I going to go? I don't know anybody. If I go outside, I'm going to get lost.
Yes, yeah.
So once I got a job, that was it.
Yeah. Money in your pocket, you can start doing things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now you married at some point in there. How did you meet your wife?
In the Red Mill. Red Mill was a dance hall in the Bronx. Yeah. And that's where everybody went there on a Sunday night. The Red Mill was Sunday night. The other ones you went to on Friday and Saturday night. That was it.
Yeah. Okay. And let's see. You said you left the plastics kind of thing. That you decided wasn't your field of work. And what kind of job did you have after that when you left the plastics?
I was actually going to school in a place downtown Manhattan called Delahanty Drafting. And I was going there for about a year every night. And this instructor came one day and he says, Pat, what are you working at? I said, as a matter of fact, I'm not working at anything right now. I've been off the last 2 days looking for a job. So he told me, give me this address. He said, go to this place in the Bronx. He said, it's a steel place. We're looking for somebody. And I went there, and the guy that interviewed me was a guy by Dennis Delaney, an Irish-American guy, right? And I was always very good at math, so he gave me some problems with math and stuff like this. He said, we're not going to hire you as a draftsman. He said, we're going to hire you as in the engineering department. And was a place where they made steel doors, frames, elevator cabs, and everything else like this. And our job was the flat sheets of steel, how much to cut, where you cut the windows out, how you cut the knobs out before you bend everything and weld it all together. And I was there for 5 years. Yeah, and I loved it. It was great. There was a great bunch of guys working there.
Yeah. Yeah. And how did you get here? How did you get up to Connecticut?
Well, that's Doreen had the kids, and she was living in the Bronx. and they were going to high school, beginning high school, so she wanted to get out of the Bronx to come up here. So one summer we started on 95 at exit 1, and every weekend we got off on another exit. Then we came up here to Fairfield, and Fairfield is too expensive, so we went someplace else. And then we went to a real estate, and she gave us the layout of a house over here in Grasmere that we actually had visited before that. We hadn't gone into it, we visited. So she came along with us one evening, and we went in there. The rent was reasonable and stuff like that. So we rented it for 2 years.
And then you found the house where you are now.
Then it was, I guess, the fall, and I was taking leaves down to the dump, and I'm going down Reef Road. I see this house for sale. I said, "Oh, that's a nice looking house." And went home and I told Doreen. So I said, "Come on." And when I drove around Reef Road, I couldn't find the house again.
Oh,
so she's looking at it. She said, "Oh, that's a lovely house over there." I said, "That's the one I'm looking for." We bought it right away.
wow.
Yep.
Yep. And now you have a daughter.
Yep.
And,
Margaret.
And how old is she?
She's 6.
6. Yeah. Apple of your eye.
Oh.
Yeah. And what do you do? When you left the job down there? Now you got out of that.
Well, after that, I went with the phone company.
Oh.
I went to the phone company. I was only there for 5 years.
Yeah.
I was at the phone company for 36 and a half years.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you're retired from the phone company.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
I retired 3 years ago.
Yeah. How'd you get to the Gaelic American Club? How'd you get involved here?
Somebody told us about how, you know what? We went to Canada in 1997, the 150th anniversary of Grosse Hill.
Uh-huh.
Okay? And we met Dave Howe up there. And started talking to Dave and other people from Bridgeport and Fairfield area. And they said, "Oh, you got to join the Irish American Club." We had heard about it before that, but we didn't know. And we, little Frankie McAvoy, I gave him the application. That'd be good to him. And he called me up one evening. "Pat, bring up 2 checks up to the club." I said, "You have to go for an interview." "No interview. Just bring the checks." and that was it. I didn't go. I never went for an interview or anything.
Yeah.
I don't know how Frankie fixed it up.
Maybe he was the one who was supposed to be doing an interview. So
maybe I'm not officially a member.
I'd say you are. I'd say you are. What did you miss most about Ireland when you first got here?
I guess the people I knew and stuff like that, the people around the area at home and stuff like that, living in an apartment house, not being able to walk out and see the grass and the trees and everything else growing.
Yeah.
The kids in the street playing in what they used to call in the Bronx, the stoop,
Yeah.
I used to say to myself, "My God, don't they have any field to go to kick football or anything else?" Yeah.
What did you miss the least?
Hard work. That was it.
Yeah. If you were to go back now to live, what would you miss most about being here?
I don't think I'd go back right now to live. I don't think I could live back there right now. I've been here too long.
Yeah.
I've known countless people that have gone back over the years to live. And nearly every single one of them within a year, they're all back here again. It's great to go over there and visit, The people over there got their way of doing things and stuff like that. People here got their, and you get into the way of life here and stuff like that. It's completely different.
Yeah. Did you ever become a citizen?
Oh, yeah.
You did?
Oh, yeah. 1966.
So that was 5 years after you came up with that,
yeah.
Within the 5 years. Huh? Did you ever serve in the armed forces?
I did.
You did?
I did.
How did that happen?
Oh, I got drafted.
How long were you here before you got drafted?
I got drafted. I got drafted in May 1964. And I did basic training in most beautiful place in the world, Fort Polk, Louisiana. If you like snakes and wild hogs and armadillos and stuff like that, it's great. And sand, plenty sand. And then I did advanced training in Fort Rucker, Alabama. Of all things, I couldn't even change a battery in a car. They made me a helicopter mechanic. And then I went to Germany. I gave 18 months in Germany, which was great.
Did you like it there?
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
I was stationed 12 miles from Frankfurt. It was great.
And what branch of the service? In the Army?
Army, yeah.
Yeah.
I got to go home 2 or 3 times.
By home here? Or
No, to Ireland.
To Ireland.
To Ireland, yeah.
Yeah. Close enough, too, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. You could fly the military planes to London, and then take the boat over from England.
What did your parents think of seeing you in an American Army uniform?
They never did.
No.
I never wore the uniform home.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
Yeah.
I never did.
Never saw. Okay.
And I guess I should have.
Yeah. Yeah. How's Ireland changed, do you think, most since you've come here?
Oh, God, it's changed tremendously. The houses, the roads, everything.
For the better?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Beautiful homes and everything else they got now. It's unbelievable. You know. So it's great. And especially now with the job market over there and stuff like this. I was over there before Christmas last year. Outside the village where I come from, they're building 38 new houses, summer homes, big field there. And most of the people that's working there are Eastern Europeans, Yugoslavians, Polish, Romanians, because there's not enough labour in Ireland to do the jobs.
Where's the money coming from? Are these going to be native? I mean, the people that are going to live there, are they going to be Cork people that'll be living in these houses?
Well, some of them are. Some of them are local spots, some houses in there. But most of them are foreigners. Let's come in and they're buying the summer areas, summer vacation homes.
Yeah. What primarily is settling in Cork? Is it from France or is it from all different areas?
I think they're from all different areas. Germans, French, English. We had a lot of English around our place. Always had. Especially after the Second World War, they came by the thousands around our area.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful area.
And then they bought farms. They thought they were going to become millionaires, but they knew nothing about. They didn't know one end of a cow from another. They were broke in 5 years. Yeah.
What? How's your life changed by coming here compared to what it would have been? Obviously, you don't know what it would have been if you'd stayed over, but the ideas of staying and living in Ireland